Mitram and Bandhuvam, welcome to South Asia Maps Education Channel. This is your presenter Dr. J. Reddy at South Asia Channel. Mitram, we are continuing our fascinating series, our human ecology predicament, that is dilemma, human impasse on the planet Earth. We have 8 billion people. 8,000 million people. In part 116, we are talking about the New World, Old World. New World lands for European colonies and Old World lands for American colonies. You see the Europe here, a part of the Old World, that is Europe, Africa, Asia, Eurasia. This is the New World. Essentially, 2 Americas, Australia, New Zealand are represented here. The New World lands for European colonies. That means around about 1500 AD, voyages, discoveries by Columbus and all those people made Europeans to colonize this new world. That means the new world lands were available for European colonies and their descendants. Then during 1898, almost we can say 1900 AD, America fought war with the Spanish Empire, defeated it and occupied the old world lands. Philippines, Archipelago, Philippines. Archipelago means a group of islands like Luzon Islands, Visayas Islands, Mindanao Islands, Palawan Island, Cebu Island. There are many other minor islands. The New World lands shown in yellow, I have omitted here for some other region. The New World lands for European colonies in 1500s. 400 years later, Old World lands for American colonies. What is the difference between these two is the present topic of discussion of human ecology, human impasse. At that time, the New World lands have plenty of carrying capacity surplus. We have represented here a donkey or mule that can carry, let's say, 3-4 bags. Now we are putting 1 bag, so it has a plenty of carrying capacity surplus. Round about 1900, the entire planet Earth started suffering from carrying capacity deficits. CCP surplus, CCP deficits. That is the old world. Old world suffered with carrying capacity deficits, and we'll link all these things together. Mitram and Bandhuvam, if you are new to my presentations, I have posted lot of well-documented presentations at our YouTube channel. There are around about 420 or so as of 2023 August. You can look at them and explore them from diverse fields of Indology to human ecology, geography, history and culture. That is South Asia Maps J. Reddy. And I also post sometimes at Twitter. You can find me at India Maps number 2. India Maps number 2. And this is our human ecology series. We are talking about today part 116, the New World lands for European colonies, Old World lands for American colonists. So I have posted them at YouTube channel, all the previous human ecology. Even though we call it human ecology, it is a very, very diverse subjects I have brought together. Very fascinating work based upon essentially Dr. William Catton Jr. and I have added my own understanding of the global system, so that will bring you a different ecological perspective of contemporary socio-political events. You should take a look at them and you will enjoy them a lot. So, excuse me. So what happened? The New World land for European colonies. The New World land is essentially United States here, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. I should, this is a typo here, it should be New Zealand, not NQ. The world for American colonies. Philippines became the American colony. It was under Spanish control, and Americans defeated Spanish Empire in 1898 April during the time of President William McKinley, and as a result of Treaty of Paris, and they acquired a lot of lands. These lands are essentially the Philippines in Pacific, near somewhere here in the Pacific Ocean. There is Guam, and there is also Puerto Rico near Cuba, Havana region. The difference between when America expanded from coast to coast after it became independent around about 1776 to 1850s or so, California is, the old land was a contiguous lands. That means when the American annexed them, there is a potential, this contiguous land means they're next to each other geographically. They can be later nurtured into a statehood. At that time they were called territories, like Nebraska Territory, Dakota Territory, Oregon Territory, and so on. Whereas the new acquisitions far away, thousands of kilometers away, they cannot be nurtured into colonial. These are essentially colonial positions: Philippines, Archipelago, Philippines, Guam, Puerto Rico. That means these world territories which America obtained suffered from carrying capacity deficits, and they did not provide any additional carrying capacity surplus for colonies, that is American. That means these lands already got saturated with the carrying capacity and running carrying capacity deficits. So Dr. Borgstrom discussed this in ecological perspective. Essentially there are the ghost acreage claimant that all the colonies are a source of material wealth, the food, fodder, fiber, and forest products, a source of material wealth, and minerals also, coal, iron, and potentially oil. Essentially this is invisible acreage. Colonialism ecologically is invisible acreage. Take for example Americans, they can see their land coast to coast, whatever the resources, minerals, metals, coals present, thus is visible acreage they can see. If they get import somewhere else, oil from the Middle East or some sugar cane from, let's say, from Philippines, this is an invisible acreage called ecological, a trade acreage. So 10 million square kilometers the Canadian land, 10 million square kilometers American land, and 17 million square kilometers. The planet Earth has around about 150 million square kilometers of the surface land. 150. The water, oceans and seas around about 360 or so. Finally it becomes 5 times. So European colonies earlier, they have the ability to take advantage of the taking over virgin lands, virgin forest, virgin territories, unexplored minerals and metals. That was the advantage. Whereas the later colonies, American colonies, lacked that, missed that. So that takeover is essentially unproductive, and after around about 50 years or so, by 1945, after the end of World War II, America shed those and Philippines gained independence. So that's the world. Europeans took, that is the takeover. European invaders took over the new world. They replaced the flora and fauna, dispensable Amerindians. So this is a great advantage. Whereas when the Americans took over the new world lands, Philippines, Luzon, Mindanao and so on, there are already plenty of people lived there. They couldn't displace them. So they couldn't get much advantage of that. And already flora and fauna already eliminated by the local Filipino people for thousands of years and turned into farmland. So they couldn't take the advantage of that. So ecological perspective, I looked in this 85, you can see from Dr. Borgstrom's work, that is visible acreage, invisible acreage, ghost acreage, fossil acreage and so on. So this is the part 104. I looked at termination of the Monroe Doctrine. That is, the Monroe Doctrine is the new world is off to the quarrels of the old world, especially Europe, their parent bodies, the old world, Monroe Doctrine. When America fought war with Spain and took over the Philippines, that Monroe Doctrine collapsed. During the McKinley's time, the Monroe Doctrine is during the presidency of Dr. Monroe, that was fought around about, I think, 1825. So it's Monroe here. The reversal of Monroe Doctrine. So what did we look today? So you can see this is the Philippine Archipelago, Luzon Island, where the capital city Manila resides, or Quezon City, Central Visayas Islands, Cebu Islands, Mindanao Island, southern part, Davao is the principal city town, and this is the Sabah part of Malaysia, that is the Malaysian Peninsula. So essentially we are looking at the same Philippines here, the Filipino island, and that is around about 300,000 square kilometers. That means America has 10 million square kilometers. This means this 300 becomes 0.3. That means America is 30 times more area than Philippines land. America today has around about 333 million people, and Philippines around about 110 or 120 million people. That means 3 times more people in United States today. So what do we look? The world colonies, this is the world, Europe, Africa, Asia, 1500 AD, took over the new world, new Americas, 2 Americas, and Australia, New Zealand somewhere here. So new world colonies took over the plenty of opportunities with ecological exuberance. Whereas in 1900, during the Spanish-American War, American colonies took over the land that is essentially the already old world, overpopulated and exploited by the residents there, that didn't give them much advantage, that visible acreage. So that's essentially what it is today's discussion, the new world land for European colonies and the old world lands for American colonies. A different ecological perspective you can get rather than just a political perspective, taking over, drawing down, and ecological exuberance, and so on. Thank you very much, Mitra and Bandhu. See you later in other presentations. If you like these presentations, I really appreciate you take the time and subscribe the channel and bring it to the notice of your friends, and also put your comments.